guys. Welcome back to the pod. Happy Sunday. I'm actually so excited to be back because I recorded last week's, I think on Sunday. So it feels like I haven't done this in forever. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, okay? New setup. I do not have a home base for this pod cast show yet, but I feel that something is in the works. Okay, so we might have a home soon, but for now, we have to be in this room today because it is one of those days in New York City where if you're not next to the AC and the fan, like you might die. Okay, it's like 90 something degrees outside, but obviously I still have to be in a sweatsuit because I got this for myself for my birthday. So we have to wear it. Okay. So, yes, yesterday was my birthday, and Sunday night, I didn't sleep. I'm recording this on Wednesday. So, Sunday night, I didn't sleep. Monday night, I didn't sleep. Tuesday night, I didn't sleep. So, it's because now it's up, it's launched, but I was in the final couple days of starting my business, which I'm trying to keep my world separate, so I'm not going to go into it here. It doesn't have anything to do with the pod. So, trying to get that up and running, and I was traveling, and I would just like wake up at 3:30 with ideas or something that I forgot. And then for my birthday yesterday, I went to Addie's 7 a.m. Soul Cycle class in meatpacking, which such a great group that goes to that class. So meatpacking, if you're in New York, you gotta come. But that meant that I got up at 5:30. And so when I woke up at 3:30, I was like, should I just make my coffee and enjoy, some extra time at home? But no. So I went to Soul Cycle. I struggled so hard, but I did it and it felt good to move still. Um, we went and got coffee. We went to Blank Street. Yes, that's what it's called. I got the Rocky Road latte. So yum. Went home, worked, and then I got my lashes done, and then I got a blowout, and then I went home and I launched the business. The blowout did not survive the stress of posting everything on Instagram. So my hair unfortunately did not look its best when I went out for drinks with my friend Josh. We went to, I never know how to pronounce it, Nebula's, I think, the rooftop of the Ritz Carlton in Nobad. It was stunning. I went there last year for my birthday. If you ever need a nice night with just pretty views, that is the place to go. I did make the reservation a month in advance, and I was like, I'll just find someone to go with me. But I also am a psycho and I can't go anywhere without a reservation. I don't do any sort of walk-ins. I need to know that I will be sat. I'm not going to stand and wait for a seat at the bar to open up. I'm not going to stand outside and maybe wait for a spot to stand inside. I'm not going to stand there and hold my stuff. No, I want to sit down and know that I have a place to sit down. So anyway, made the reservation a month in advance. My friend Josh came with me. We had so much fun, but you're on the 30 something floor, so it was hot up there. It was so hot. I was sweating, but we had the best time. I will say it's probably more of a date spot, but there are some prospects men wise. There were definitely some prospects around. So, yeah, okay. That was my birthday. We'll segue into that later, but we have a lot. We have a lot to catch up on. Let me pause and make sure this is recording, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're good. We're back. So, wow, this whole not sleeping thing, I'm really going to have to get that figured out. Okay, my brain hurts. Okay, so I am so new to all of this like social media, trying to figure out how to get views, trying to figure out what works, doesn't work, etc. So, I just want to say not last week's episode, but episode 6 got 168 views, okay? Which is insane because when I started this, like I didn't come from already having a platform. I just started this. So, thank you for listening to me, and I'm glad that, I mean, even if you're not enjoying it, it's still a view on my end. But no, seriously, thank you. This has been a fun thing for me to do. It keeps me well, now I'm very busy, but it just adds a little bit of extra to the schedule. But in a weird way, I feel like it's given me, a little bit more purpose and self-confidence. If I can sit here and talk into this camera, watch it back, listen to myself talk, watch myself talk, and then post that on YouTube for the world to see, that takes some confidence. So I have some updates. I have some updates. Let's take a trip back in time. And I documented this whole thing in my notes. So here we go. Let's take a trip back in time. Go back in your brain, rewind to last week's episode. Do we remember at the end of last week's episode, maybe the last 3 minutes, I said that I was seeing Mr. CK that night? Yep. I said I was seeing Mr. CK that night. The nickname, Mr. CK. I've talked about him a few times before, but I haven't said anything too much about it because I didn't know what it was going to be. And there was a solid week where I was like, I think this could be. It's actually so funny now. There was a solid week where I said to myself, this might be something. It could be something where something's happening here. Okay. So the nickname Mr. CK comes from, it stands for something. It stands for a certain status that I am trying to attain. And I have spent my entire life on this planet so far trying to attain this status. And when he told me that he was this status, I said, yep, we're going to make this work. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But it definitely perked my ears up. So that's where he got his nickname. And it was funny because my friends and I would just call him CK instead of his actual name. Okay. So I've mentioned him a few times, but let's just paint the picture again. Lives in New York, very successful, attractive, great on paper. Great on paper. But ever since I met him, I was like, I think one of the first things I said to my friends, I was like, something's off. Like, he's perfect, but something's off. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And every time we would go out, I was like, I'm just feeling off about this, but you're not giving me any obvious red flags. So I was like, doing a little science experiment. But my little gut feeling, my spidey senses were tingling, and we always listen to those. And I was like, something is off here. So we figured it out. I'm going to tell you the story, but we figured out what was off. What was off was that he doesn't like me. He did not like me. And that's why I was like, something's off here. Because for some reason, he didn't like me at all, but he kept asking me to hang out. So let's go into the story time. So here we go. At this point, by last week, we'd probably been on 6 or 7 dates, right? So he's not random. People knew who he was, but we've also had 0 conversations about what we are and about what each other is looking for. So just to set the scene, okay? 6 or 7 dates, but no chat about where is this going? What do you want? What do I want? No. I think I said maybe last week that I was starting to get a sneaky feeling that we were slipping into situationship territory. And what I mean by this is he didn't seem that eager to see me. Perfect indicator that he doesn't like you, Presley. He didn't seem that eager to see me. So maybe dates 1 through 3, you're trying to play it cool, whatever. But 6 through 7, I should know that you like me. I should know that you're excited to see me and you want to have me around to get to know me better, okay? So all of our dates had been drinks, dinner, spa, members club, all the things. And in my head, he told me that he was very busy. He obviously has an important job and he travels a lot for work. And I was like, perfect, because I want someone that is busy because I'm busy. So when we come together, we can just be busy together. And I want someone that has their own life. And I want my own life, and our lives will just click together like that. Not click, it's going to take, work, because I want, again, someone that's busy, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay. So, circling back to Mr. CK, that Sunday, last Sunday, he told me we made a plan to hang out. He gave me a time. He said 6 p.m. Didn't give me a place. Didn't say he made a reservation. Didn't exact on drinks, dinner. I don't know. But I had 6 p.m. in the calendar. And I knew that he was flying back from a trip that day, but I didn't know what time, etc. But I knew where he was flying from, so I knew it was a short flight. Okay. So in my head, I was like, 6 p.m., I'll work up until 4 p.m., then I'll shower and I'll, close the laptop and start getting ready. So 4 p.m. rolls around. I close my laptop and I'm like, I probably kind of wish that I got a little bit more done, but at least I have tomorrow. And maybe I need a second to just get away and get out of the house, and it's going to be okay. So I shower and I get out of the shower. It's 4:30. No text about what we're doing or a place. The date is in an hour and a half, and I have no idea. We could be doing anything at this point. So I start to get a little like, okay, what am I doing? What are we doing? I'm tired of this. I'm bored, and I start to see red a little bit. We're going to a dark place, okay? So I was thinking about my work, and I was like, maybe I should just stay home and finish it. Like, I'm over this. I don't know if I want to go, whatever. So I FaceTime my friends for a little backup, right? And I'm asking them, am I being unreasonable? Help me. What do I do? At this point, it's 4:45. I'm still in a towel, hair is wet. I would probably have to leave at 5:30 to get to probably the general area that I was assuming that we were going to go. And I said, am I putting on my daytime moisturizer? Am I putting on my nighttime moisturizer? One friend recommended asking him if we were still on, and I just can't bring my thumbs to type that text to a man, because you should always know if you're still on. And at this point, I was mad at myself because I had broken my rule that I'm pretty sure I preached on the pod a couple weeks ago. If he doesn't text you where you're going, it should be the day before. Maybe it's that morning, but like, come on, it's not that hard to make a risk. Like, I could go on. I literally could go on for hours about that. So I always say, if you don't know what you're doing, don't go. Don't go. Okay. You don't sit around and wait. Okay. So I, at 4:50, I text him and I say, hey, so sorry, but I'm not getting close to being done with my work. And since we haven't made a plan yet, I'm sure you're feeling the same way. Rain check. I wanted to give him a little jab for not texting me what the plan was. But again, we're casual. We've been chill. So, rain check. Maybe I'll give you another chance. This man responds right away. The quickest this man has ever responded to me. Okay. 4:51. Hey, just landed. Was going to say, let's go to this restaurant at 6, but if you have to work, all good. Okay. I know for a fact you had Wi Fi on the plane. I know for a fact you were probably working on the plane. But, also, if you just landed at 4:50, you could have made it at 6, but that would have been cutting it close. Okay. So, what should have happened was I should have gotten a text at least that morning. Hey, let's go here tonight. I made us a reservation. My flight lands at this time, so I could be a little late, but I will text you my updates on the way. I'm excited to see you. It's really not, it's not that hard. If he texted me that, I would be like, wow, let's go to dinner. I would have been there with a smile on my face and a great attitude. I would have been so excited. And so I was reading that text and I was like, yeah, you don't, and up until this point I was like, he doesn't like me that much and I wish that he would just tell me this instead of wasting my time, but it's fine. So I said, thanks, I don't want to start the week feeling behind, have a good night, as in like, please stop texting me, I'm gonna do some work now. Immediately again response, fastest ever. No problem, hope you get it all done, when are you back from your trip to reschedule, because I was going out of town. I think I like responded the next morning, but we'll get back to that. After I canceled the date, I felt so much better because I knew in my gut that that's what I was supposed to do. That's like what I stand for. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You owe him nothing. You truly owe him nothing. I don't sit around and wait. I'm not going to sit around and wait for a man. I don't care who you are. So I started to think about the fact that I was sitting around waiting for him because in my brain, that was a clear indicator that I was more invested in this, whatever it was, than he was. And I started to realize, I think I want to be with someone that's excited to see me and excited to have me around. Like, I'm fun, okay? And so the wheels were just really turning. And I was like, I don't want to entertain any sort of wishy-washiness. And the thing is, there have been people in the past that I've been casual with, and we both have known that we're not going to date, but there's still a reservation. There's still like plans, excited to see you. See, but like there's a mutual understanding of what the situation is, but I knew that they liked having me around, okay? I don't think this guy liked having me around. So I I mean, canceling the date an hour before, people might say that that's cutthroat, but and like, oh, give him a chance, slow burn, you never know where it could go. But by this point, I was done. And I wanted to go with my gut and I didn't want to waste any more time. We're busy. So I stayed home and I ordered wine and I ordered tacos and I got a lot of work done. And it was the best decision I've ever made in my life. So that was Sunday. After this, the rest of the week, he is quick with the responses, fastest he has ever been. And I was like, maybe this was the trick all along, just cancel. Fast text, double texting. I said, so now you're interested in me. Now you want to talk to me and get to know me. Okay, I see what's going on here. So he texts me and we make a plan to see each other on the 31st. Okay. Now, everyone, I need you to pull out your calendar and go to July and look at July 31st. Okay. Because these dates that I'm about to tell you, very important. And we need to do a little follow along. Okay. So he then texts me and he says, your birthday's on the 27th, right? And I said, no, the 29th. Fine. One mistake one time. I don't care. It's fine. So he makes a joke about having a post-birthday celebration on the 31st. And I said, perfect. Locked in the calendar. So I text him the next day and I say, hey, actually, my flight landing on Monday the 28th, okay? Everyone sees Monday. Monday the 28th lands earlier than I remembered if you want to do something on Monday instead, right? Because I canceled, but I was like, maybe I'll throw him a bone, see what we can do. So he says, on Monday the 28th, as much as I would enjoy a pre-birthday, he texts me this, in his words, pre-birthday celebration, I'm going to be in Boston for work. And I said, totally fine, all good. Didn't hear from him for 3 days. Okay. And I was like, I hope that he's ghosting me because that would solve all of my problems. So, didn't hear from him 3 days. I leave for a work trip on the 27th. I am working. I am working and I'm having a great day and I'm working with friends and it's so fun. On the 27th, I see that I have two texts from him. Please keep in mind that the text right above that is him saying, I can't do Monday, even though I would enjoy a pre birthday celebration. Okay. On the 27th, he texts me, happy birthday, with three exclamation points, and then sends another text, what are you doing to celebrate? I started laughing so hard because it brought me so much joy. Like, yes, we were working, we were having fun, but I was pretty exhausted and I needed that little boost of energy in my day. And I was like, bro, read the text that you sent right above right above it. But it brought me joy. So I truly didn't care. So all day I'm giggling. My friends and I are giggling. We're like, what do you even say back to that? Some people were like, just say thank you. Some people were like, no, say something sassy and say, yeah, on the 29th, I'll celebrate. So I just decided to respond. And I said, on the 29th, but thank you, LOL. Classic. Perfectly crafted. Little bit of like oh, it's the 29th. And the LOL was more like at him rather than with him, but it's okay. So he responds and he says, oops, yeah, I have it saved for the 27th. And I was like, oh, it's a calendar came in and he forgot. No, he didn't put it in his calendar. He doesn't like me, remember? So I just hearted it. Okay. No response. Right. I just hearted it. So up until this point, like I said earlier, I was not feeling it. I was trying to figure out how to end it. I was trying to figure out, like, do I need to give it more time, slow burn? Does he not like me, etc. And this birthday debacle was just the cherry on top of this whole situation. So, and it was funny because meanwhile, and this is why I say we need to date around and experience lots of types of people during all of this, I get a text from someone that a past someone from the past, okay? And he texts me and he says, I, I don't even remember telling him that my birthday was in July. Don't remember telling him that. He says, I know you have a birthday coming up. Hope all is well. I saw something that reminded me of you and I want to send it to you. And I said, correct. That is how you do it. That is how you do it. And said gift showed up on my birthday. I saw it as I was walking out the door to drinks. Okay. That is how you do it. And that is in that moment, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's how it feels. That's what it feels like when someone likes you, not this wishy washiness. Happy birthday on the 27th. Okay. So the whole time during all of this, we still have a plan for the 31st. Okay. Thursday, the 31st. And I'm like, I cannot go. I don't want to go. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get out of this. And there was like a little bit of me that was like, well, maybe just like one more drink. No, no. I told my friends, I'm not going. Do not let me go. I I made a promise to myself that I wasn't gonna do it. I want to do something else. I want to get acupuncture, get a spray tan, and go home and go to bed. Okay. So my friend crafts the most perfect breakup message that I've ever seen in my entire life. This message, chef's kiss. She didn't even use Chat GPT. She, like, honestly, we could sell this online, okay? Honestly, we could make t-shirts. So it's the perfect balance between being nice and hoping that he finds what he's looking for, and a little bit of like, this has taken a turn, his behavior, and we're not aligning, and I don't see this lasting. A perfect mix of both. And I usually call. I do not care to pick up the phone and call and say, especially with 6 or 7 dates, you should call. But again, this worked in my favor because he is a busy, busy man. He's just so busy. Wow. And I was like, I can't let this drag on. I don't want to go on Thursday. I have to end it. So I texted him this message and I told him that I normally call, but he's so busy. So if he needs to or wants to chat on the phone, call me. So 5 minutes response immediately. He says something classic along the lines of, "Thanks for being honest. I've just been so busy. It's hard to explore something more serious, but I had a lot of fun." And I was like, "Okay, well, your work is always going to be busy. You also go on like 2 vacations every month and go to the Hamptons all the time. But if you stop doing that, maybe then like you can meet someone and have something serious, okay?" But I was like, "You know what? It's his life and it's not going to be my life." So I was on the phone with my mom when he texted me back, and her and my friend Lauren both said like, "But isn't he always going to be busy?" So that's how I knew that I was not a priority. And the moral of the story is, you don't need to be the priority. Like, being the priority is crazy because I have my own things. You should have your own things, and then we come together, okay? But you should be a priority, especially if he's interested in you and he's interested in getting to know you more. You you're definitely a priority in his life if that's what, he wants. And it was funny because I was explaining this whole thing, everything about him, to my hairstylist a couple weeks ago, and she's so just like blunt and will say whatever, and I love going to her so much for the hair and for the entertainment. She was like, "He doesn't like you and he's definitely seeing other people." And I was like, "Period." Sometimes you just need someone to like tell it to you straight, okay? So, yes, moral of the story, keep the whole priority thing in mind, right? It's this hard balance because you don't want someone that's so obsessed in the beginning, right? Because that's creepy. But I truly think that 6 or 7 dates point is a very clear indicator of where it's going. I knew in my gut that we were turning into a little situationship situation, that I didn't want to deal with. And I said, this has to end. And I think even if he turned around and said, "No, I'm sorry, like I want to date you, blah, blah, blah," I think the way that he was handling all of this and the whole like, there's no coming back from that. There's no coming back from the fact that I felt like he didn't like me. I'm not going to be like, "Oh, yeah, let's date now." No. This is a perfect segue into my birthday because I, going back for just 1 second, I genuinely felt like he wasn't excited to see me, but he kept inviting me to hang out. And so I was like, what's going on here? And I think those are the situations that I want to encourage everyone to avoid because they can easily be such a time suck and an energy drain. I am good at compartmentalizing and not putting too much energy into that, but I can fully understand how that could like eat away at your mental health of like, does he like me, does he not like me, what's he doing, is he seeing other people, yada yada yada. Whereas I kind of take the opposite end of the spectrum, and sometimes they don't know if I like them back. And so yeah, just that 6 or 7 date point with someone, check in, okay? I want to encourage everyone to check in. For my birthday, Josh and I were at drinks, and he asked me, he was like, "Okay, every year, or every birthday, I ask everyone what they're leaving in the past year and what they learned from the past year that they want to bring with them into the next year." And he was like, "Take some time to think about it, take some time, it's okay." Well, and I was like, "Oh no, I know right away. We do a lot of self-reflection around here." I know exactly. And he was like, "Wow, okay, usually people need time, but here we go." So, what I'm leaving in my year 25 is putting up with wishy washiness and trying to play it cool in the beginning. Like, "Oh, yeah, you're running late. You have to cancel. You have to do this, blah, blah. No, it's fine. I'll just do that." Or, "Yeah, we can do casual because you have to do this." Like, I want to be very clear with my priorities right from the beginning. And the minute that I get a feeling that this person is not my person, I'm not going to give it any more time. And something that I want to bring with me into 26 was, it was funny because before Josh asked me that, I was on the phone with my mom and we were talking about just the year. Her birthday's a couple days before mine, and it's always fun to recap and reflect. And I honestly think last year was probably the best year so far. And I figured out what it was. I was really pouring into my friendships and my family and building really strong connections with those people. And from there, from that connection, I had the confidence to start this. I had the confidence to start my other business because I knew that I had people supporting me and people that would be honest with me if something was bad, or if I ever needed help with something. But the more you feel like you have people to lean on, whoever that is, friends, family, whatever, the more confident you are to go after your life. Lauren and Addie, we got so close over the past year, and now it's like I have them. I can, like, let's do it. You want to start that business? Let's do it. You want to do this? Let's do it. You want to go here? Let's do it. Because I have better roots with people, I'm like, yeah, I have the there's definitely a metaphor in here somewhere of like the seeds planted so now I can soar, or like I feel grounded so now I can fly, or something like that. But that energy is what I want to bring into 26 more. Like, not relying on my people, but using my people to help my confidence and just take over the world. Okay. So for my birthday, I always like to keep everything very casual. I like to be in bed by 10, all the things. But when I was a child, my mom said that my birthday parties would always end in me just sobbing because I wanted to make sure everyone was having a good time. I wanted to make sure that friends that haven't met liked each other and yada yada. So I if you ever if you're one of my friends and you ever see me inviting you to a birthday party, it's a scam. Okay. Don't click on it. They're going to steal your information. So I was in bed by 10, which I wasn't in bed, but I was definitely en route home by 10. I think we left like 9:40, and I was like, oh, I think I like this little life. um, but my phone has never been so busy. I launched the business and had a birthday on the same day. And Josh was like, "You're the only person that I know that would launch a business on their birthday." And I was like, "Yeah, because I'm a baller, babe." Like, so I had the birthday thing blowing up, the business thing blowing up. And so then I laid in bed for an hour and was like responding to DMs and doing all the things and checking the followers and blah, 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 all that stuff. So I truly had the best day. And thank you to everyone that made it so special. For my birthday this year, I got myself this sweatsuit, some new pajamas, some new slippers, because I just love to stay home. The slippers are so cute. I'll wear them next time if it's not 1,000 degrees in New York City. And something else that I got myself was no more nails. So I decided that, well, I'll get into this one day, but I might be living alone in January. And in New York City, that is like not a small feat. What's the word? I don't know. That's like daunting because New York is expensive, but we love it. And I have a feeling that I might be maybe alone, which is exciting because it's like, okay, wow, now we got to like really make sure the money's in order. Um but yeah, so I said, okay, no more nails. Like, and I was watching old I was watching old podcast, I think the early episodes, and there's one set that was red and they were so long, and for a split second I was like, well, maybe just like 2 more weeks of nails wouldn't hurt. But no, 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 you made yourself a promise, Presley. And every year I up the amount of money that I deposit every month into my investment account. So if that inspires you to do the same, I think that's a great birthday present for yourself besides just stuff. But don't get me wrong, I love a sweatsuit. But that's actually so funny that what I got myself was a sweatsuit, pajamas, and slippers. But it's fine. So I'm very proud of myself for all the things that I've accomplished this past year. I did a lot of putting myself out there and seeing what happens. And so I want to thank everyone that gave me the confidence to be able to do that, especially when it came to this. And the other business that I just launched, everyone's support means the world. Something that I am also doing this year is I made a list. Well, I'm still working on the list because we've been busy. I made a list of 26. I'm going into I turned 26. So 26 things that I'm manifesting or that I will accomplish in this next year. And some of the things on the list are kind of playing with the number 26, which I haven't really talked about this, but I'm very big into like manifestation, journaling, meditation, all the things, vision boards. So using, the year that you're turning to kind of inform some of your goals, especially when it comes to maybe like a money goal or a client goal or yeah. So I am very excited. And now I feel more motivated to get the list done because I said it out loud and it's going on YouTube. Okay. So thank you all so much for listening. I think next week I will be in a new location, but I promise we will find a home for Presley's pod soon. I have an idea, but we'll see. Okay. So thank you all for listening. Happy Sunday. I hope you have an amazing week. And yeah, love ya. Bye.